here to help your children spread their wings and fly through life. Hi, I'm Amanda from Modern Successful Parenting. We're talking about the development of our kids and what sort of things you can expect for their development to happen in the next 12 months. Now, at 3 years of age, coming into 4 years of age, they're curious about their environment. They're confident, they're jumping, they're active, they're exploring the world, they love learning, they're trying to seek out new things to learn all the time. They love exploring the world and they're really seeking others to join in with their mischief making. I love the three-year-old. They're just so vivacious. They physically love doing things. They're intellectually developing. You can have great conversations with them. They have a beautiful spirit about them. And they're also very emotional. Now, those terrible twos have just gone past. They're a little bit better about their ability to understand their emotions and what's happening with their emotions. But sometimes they still overtake them and they still don't know how to cope with them. Now, as they're growing, they're learning. And how are they learning at the moment? They're learning through repetition. They look at what happens. They look around, look at what you're doing, look at what their friends are doing, look at what children who are a little bit older are doing, and they want to strive to be able to achieve those things. And the way that they achieve those is by doing things again and again and again. Now, some of them learn by actually physically doing it. And everyone has to physically do it. And these three things are the main ways that children learn. They physically do it, they hear it, and they see it. Now, there may be a preference that your child sort of learns easier through visually seeing something and then doing it, or maybe they learn best by doing it lots of different ways and working out the best way to do it, or maybe they learn best by you telling them and they learn through that sort of advice. Now, there are many combinations of how children learn, but they are the three basic ones. Today we're going to talk about the gross motor skills, fine motor skills, and also about language development and the speech that you should be expecting at this age. So, what should children be able to do with their gross motor movements? Now, what is gross motor? Gross motor is the ability required in order to control the large muscles of your body. That is, walking, running, skipping, those sorts of things. They're looking at being able to do those big physical movements, not fine movements, which are things that you do with your fingers, but those really big movements, like running. So they should be able to run and turn sharp corners, go vroom, vroom, vroom. They should be able to catch and bounce a ball. So when they're 2, they're catching it with their chest. By the time they're 3, they should be able to catch it in their hands, and they should be able to bounce a ball. Now, if you've never given them the opportunity to play with a ball, obviously they won't be able to do that. But if you give them the opportunity, they should be able to learn it quite quickly. Not immediately, they will need lots of practice, but they should be able to learn it. They should be able to kick a ball. Now, they'll kick it probably with one foot predominantly, and that's okay. You can try and teach them to kick with both feet, which is even better. They should be able to climb up on playground frames. They should be able to slide down slippery dips. They should be able to hold on to the ropes and swing, balance on a swing and actually start to swing. They should be able to use their legs to swing themselves up and back and up and back. They need to be able to balance on one foot. Oh, now that is so tricky. And a lot of kids, even at 4 years of age, struggle to balance on one foot. But it's really important that you give them the opportunity or even give them the challenge to be able to balance on that one foot. And they need to be able to walk heel to toe. Now again, heel to toe is really important because if they're just walking on their tiptoes, it can be a sign that there is some sort of a developmental issue. So if you're finding that they're just walking on their toes, go to the doctor, go to your medical professional and just get them to check the child over. they need to be able to walk in a straight line. Now, that may mean that you draw a line with chalk on the pavement and they can walk on that line with one foot and then the other foot in front and the other foot in front, so that they're actually walking one foot in front of the other. They should be able to jump with 2 feet, jump over an object. So when they were 2, they were just jumping on the one spot. Now that they're 3, they need to be able to jump over an object. Now, it doesn't have to be a big object. It can just be a little object. One of my friends put down a ladder on just one of those rope ladders on the ground, and the kids were just jumping from one to another. You can also draw a hopscotch, and they can start doing those hopscotch type movements. They need to be able to cross the midline. Now, crossing the midline means that there's an imaginary line in the middle of your body, and they need to be able to move their hand from one side to the other. So, for instance, if you're sitting at the dinner table and they want something from this side of the table, like the salt, then they should be able to reach across their body and grab the salt and bring it back. Now, I have seen some children with a pencil, they'll grab a pencil, write, and then they'll change hands and then they'll write this way. And it's important that you encourage them to actually go across that midline. A great song that I love is A Ship Sailed from China. And you start by moving your hand from one side to the other to get the beat. A ship sailed from China with a cargo of tea, all laden with treasures for you and for me. It brought me a fan, just imagine my bliss, when I found myself going like, and then 2 hands, like this, like this, like this, like this. A ship sailed from China with a cargo of tea, all laden with treasures for you and for me. It brought me a fan, just imagine my bliss, when I found myself going like this. And then you add your legs in. So not only are your hands going, but your legs are going one leg over the other. And then you sing it again and you've got both legs going over the other. And then if you're really, 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 really fit, you then start lying back and sitting up and lying back and sitting up. And so it is so much fun. The kids love it. It's an easy way to get them to cross that midline. Now, the other thing that's really important if they're having trouble with crossing their midline is to be able to get them to crawl, but opposite leg and opposite hand. So as they're crawling, they're using their opposite leg and opposite hand to move at the one time. So they're balancing on the right hand and the left leg, and then they're balancing on the left hand and the right leg. And this is really important for them to be able to learn to read, sports and things like that. These are some really easy things that you can do to help them with that, crossing that midline. At this age, they'll be riding bikes. Now, they will have trainer wheels on them, but they are able to ride a bike. So give them the opportunity to be able to do these things, because if you give them the opportunity to do it and they succeed, they'll feel so much better.
Thank you for watching Modern Successful Parenting. All advice and information given during this course is designed for general use only. If you have any concerns for your child, please seek professional advice as soon as possible. For terms and conditions, see website www.modernsuccessfulparenting.com.au. Thank you.